this morning. We thank you for taking care of us throughout the night, my Father. Mighty Lord, we know that it is not that we were worthy, but it's only because you love us, my God. Mighty Father, this day, as we come to present our action plan, we pray that you may be with us, guide our facilitators. Let us learn more so that the time you go back to our school, my dear Lord, in January, we will be able to help our dear pupils. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. So welcome to our session today. And we are 5 at the moment and we are going to start. So today we will be celebrating, this is Webinar J. Webinar J. And in this webinar, we are going to be sharing our plans. So the earlier you are, the better. So we have Ruiru Primary School here. And we also have, morning. Okay. Okay. No problem. Eunice Ngogi, CSO Juja. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, sorry, we are just doing some administrative work. So then we have Karuri Primary. I hope both of you are here in the room. And this is the apology I just got from CSO Ndumberi. So he's not coming, but we'll have CSO Juja joining us. And then we also have Thogoto, we have Marion and Marion Njuguna who will be joining us. Now today is more about you sharing your plan and getting feedback on your plan in order to make it better. It is not an assessment, it's just a reflection session we are having, and then we will improve. So the more you participate, the much better you will get your plans better. So the learning outcome for the day include, you will present your school project. So each individual from the school, you will say what you intend to do. Remember, we are doing 4 things in 8 weeks. You'll just mention the 4, but take one and take it till the end. Then we are also going to reflect on what we listen from our colleagues. So we listen to what somebody has said, and then based on what they have said, we'll now agree and share the reflection. And then we need to appreciate, because everybody is coming in with an idea, so we'll appreciate our colleagues and their ideas because it's going to make it better. So the expectation for you is to participate in the presenting school. And the other thing is to listen to what they are saying and take notes on how you can improve. And finally, to review your action plan, because after today, you have a week to submit the whole action plan for 8 weeks by next week on Friday. So today is just that particular short session, and then you'll have an idea on how you can make it better. So we will give each school a presentation. So we have Ruiru, for example, Ruiru will present, and then after Ruiru presents, it will be followed by Karuri. Then after Karuri, then we can have Thogoto, and then we'll do 1, then we go again 1, 1, 1, like that. So that's how we are going to do our presentation. So each one educator per school will present, then we go to the next one, then we go to the next, we roll until we finish. We have up to 11, 3 hours. So this is a good time we take advantage. We ask as many questions as possible so that by the time we are leaving here, we have a clear idea on how our action plan will look like. So with all that said, I hope we are now ready to share. It's just a story. We are telling our story, and based on our story, we are going to get feedback and we are going to make it better. So it's just ourselves. That's why we have small groups, and we are going to share internally and see how it can get better. So who is going to be the first one to share? You'll have 9 minutes to share. So let me see who is who would like to share their action. We are 4 at the moment, so we have latitude. Anyone who would like to share, you talk to us about the whole session, and then we'll give you feedback. Madam Veronica, would you like to start?
Hello.
Would you like to start?
About the session or about the action plan?
Share your action plan.
Fine, mine.
You know, you are lucky. We are lucky because we are few. So it is like reviewing it and advising you on how to make it better.
Now, the one I took on a non-routine.
Which is your school?
Ruiru Primary.
Yeah, so you'll tell us the 4 areas for non-routine, for assessing evidence, for multiple perspective, for deep structure. You'll tell us what you're doing for each, but then you'll speak with one and take it till the end. So you're from which school?
Ruiru Primary.
Ruiru, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now tell us, madam.
I had assessing evidence.
Mm-hmm.
There is non-routine.
Mm-hmm.
Deep structure.
Mm-hmm.
And multiple perspective.
Mm-hmm.
In each case,
mm-hmm.
what I wanted to do
mm-hmm.
is now is under numeracy
mm-hmm.
to enable my learners
mm-hmm.
to be critical thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because the school has poor performance.
Okay.
And so I wanted to boost the self-esteem
mm-hmm.
of our learners.
Okay.
Now, in that case,
Yeah.
Under assessing evidence,
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said why.
Yes.
I said now the learners, as I look at our school,
mm-hmm.
they have the negative attitude towards mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
And then why I want to change in order to boost the learners' esteem in that subject, that is in particular, that is in mathematics.
Okay.
What to do? I said
Yes.
I would show my learners how to
mm-hmm.
form mathematical problems, and
mm-hmm.
then let them making each question every day.
Yeah.
In the groups.
Okay.
It's like now if I'm dealing with addition,
mm-hmm.
I should give them a number, depending now grade 1, number 1 up to 10.
Yeah.
They make a sum
mm-hmm.
for themselves in the pairs.
Okay.
Whereby the 2 numbers,
mm-hmm.
they are going to add up to 10.
Okay. Remember, you are telling us about an 8 weeks project. Okay. Continue. That's okay.
That is in the 2 weeks project.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Then now, who is to assist me?
So this one you'll be doing every day for the 10 days.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Then who is to assist me?
Yes.
I now thought of, because I took it, numeracy was my goal.
Yes.
I talked about the head of mathematical panel.
Okay.
So that she or he can guide me.
Okay.
Then how I would prepare myself,
mm-hmm.
I would be asking
Yes.
Learn form questions every day in the pairs.
Yes.
Before I start now the lesson. For the implementation,
Yeah.
I said it should be from 1st February.
Yes.
To 14th February.
Okay.
For the success, I talked of now the runners will be critical thinkers.
Yes.
And there will be improvement in the subject. Now up to there is where I did on assessing evidence. But now I had a problem.
Yes.
When I came now to try to look for the deep structure.
Okay.
Because now I moved away from now numeracy.
Yes.
I now came to a bit of literacy.
Yes.
Because with my deep structure, what now I talked about, I talked about now, that is now the activity, what I would do. Why is the runner to be critical thinkers? It remains the thing, the same.
Oh, now you want to describe another one on deep structures.
Yes, I said I had a problem.
So we wanted you to only share one. So what I like you to do, I like you to share what problem you had. Then we can discuss how to help you. Yes. But you have already shared one. Can we now finish with the numeracy first? Now, when you did, the students are supposed to make questions every day before the lesson, and the idea is for them to assess evidence. In your performance indicators, you have talked about you want them to be critical thinkers. So I'd like you to tell us how have you measured this? For example, when somebody meets expectation, what will you see? When they are below expectation, what will you see? Can you tell us that?
Now, for the one who is exceeding expectation,
yes,
the learner who was able to make more questions and giving the answer.
And remember, you told us you are doing assessing evidence, so just be a bit clear on that.
I said, the learners are the ones who are making the questions in the groups.
Yes, yes.
In those groups, we have the time takers.
Yes.
So the time takers with me, I said they were the ones who were below expectations.
Okay, so those who are taking time to solve the question.
Those who not asking the questions.
Okay.
For those ones approaching, they could try to make to form a question, but do not make it fully.
Okay, thank you.
For the unlimited expectation,
yes,
they are making maybe 2 questions.
Okay.
And they are getting the answer.
Okay.
For exceeding expectations, they are the ones who are asking so many questions. They are the ones who are always asking the question to the others.
Okay.
When asked, they could give the answers direct.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That is now clear. Now, can you share? You still have 2 minutes. Can you tell us what was the problem with deep structure? We see how we can help you.
Fine. With my deep structure, first of all, my question is, can I teach literacy as well as literacy?
Okay.
That was the first question.
Yes.
Because with me, as I was trying to see what I could teach in my deep structure and multiple perspectives, to me, now literacy was on the higher side.
Yes.
That the numeracy.
Okay.
Yes, that is now my problem.
So your problem is, I didn't get your problem clearly. Can you teach?
I'm saying, as we are planning this action plan,
yes,
would I include in some goals, some ideas?
Yes.
Two goals to be on numeracy.
Yes.
And then the other 2 goals to be on literacy.
Yes, that is fine. You see, because you only have 8 weeks for the first trial, you decide how best to address. And because you have also 2 learning areas, the literacy and numeracy, you can decide how to balance over the 8 weeks. Maybe you can say assessing evidence, I'm doing in numeracy, then deep structure, I'm doing in literacy for the first 8 weeks, because the idea is for you to get how to do it. And then once you have gotten how to do it, then it will be easier to try it in other areas.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So that is okay.
Okay. And then there's another question I was asking myself.
Yes.
There is this thing you told us about the implementation.
Yes.
Now, implementation, I have to give them, like now mine was 1st February to 14th February.
Yes.
And all the girls going to learn at that time.
Because you are trying something new. So for example, when you are doing assessing evidence, you'll only do for those 2 weeks. And then you will learn something. Then it might become part of your practice. Then when you come to the next week, maybe you'll be doing multiple perspective for another 2 weeks, and then it will become part of practice. So when you're saying 2 weeks is when you will give it focus. You will focus on it deeply, and then you will just stay on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Veronica. I think your 9 minutes are gone, and I hope it was helpful. I hope you feel now confidence on what to do.
Yes.
And thank you very much. We hope as you listen to your colleagues, you'll get more ideas.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's go to the next one. That was Madam Veronica Waidera from Ruiru Primary, who has just presented her action plan. She has ideas from all the areas: assessing evidence, deep structure, multiple perspective, and solving and routine problem. But she focused on assessing evidence to give her problem solving, where she talked of she wants her learners to be critical thinkers, and they will be designing questions every day for 10 days. That's in 2 weeks. Thank you very much, Madam. So I look forward to seeing your final school project and how it will unfold. Now, who is going to go next? We have other 8 people. And if you have any question, if you have a question, just type it in the chat so that we can listen and we can.
On the first reopen, Cuban swam in the pristine blue waters, visit scrutinizingly getting to them these weeks.
We have somebody called a non-user. You have a lot of noise in the background.
Okay. I'm going to rectify that. I'm rectifying that.
Reduce the noise behind you. There is a TV. There are some people talking. Yes, now you are quiet. Tell us your name. Tell us your name and tell us what you are presenting and which school. So we have Veronica from, Veronica, you are from which school? Ruiru.
Ruiru.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Roslyn.
Yes.
Also from Ruiru Primary.
Roslyn who?
Maucha.
Maucha from Ruiru.
Yes.
Yes, please.
So, the current status in my school.
Yes, please.
Let me choose all the action plan, the points that I'm going to undertake as I carry out my action plan.
Yes.
Is that Some learners prefer some learning areas to others, and they're too dependent on teachers.
Okay.
And also lack of motivation in some of them. So for this reason, my purpose is to instill in them assertiveness and critical thinking. And that's why in the first 2 weeks, I'm going to start on the core competencies. Critical thinking is one of them. They infuse others like self-efficacy and effective communication.
So the first 2 weeks, you are focusing on all of them.
Yeah, on the two, critical thinking and self-efficacy.
Okay.
So the list of the activities I'm going to do will be in numeracy and literacy.
Yes.
Whereby, instead of just giving the pupils all that they need to know, I'll be giving room for them to be more creative and come up with their own new ideas. For example, in word formation.
Yes.
And also when we come to numeracy.
Yes.
I'll not make them do only one formula, but I'll give leeway to different formulas.
Okay.
And also, as we tackle the number work.
Yes.
As we tackle number work, for example, the additions and fractions.
Yeah.
They'll be able to, as they work in pairs, for example, using cutouts, trying to show the halves and quarters as being part of whole. They'll be able to do that in pairs, and then later on, they can come and showcase them. And through that, they'll be able to acquire confidence, motivation, and even assertiveness.
So this is during the first 2 weeks, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So my collaborators will be,
yes,
because we are different streams, my co-teacher in the other stream will be one of my collaborator.
You have how many streams?
We are two, my stream and the other stream.
And
then I'll also be collaborating with our senior teacher.
And what will you be doing with your other stream member?
Yeah, because she's not part of this training.
Okay.
I'll be able to collaborate with her and even share some of the information I've inquired here, and she'll assist me in the observation part.
Okay, okay.
In check as I pursue this action plan.
Excellent, yeah.
And then the head teacher also will be one of my collaborators because he'll be able to assist us in some of the resources that we'll be needing.
Okay, okay.
So some of the activities I've already mentioned in number work. And I wanted them to have correlation between numeracy and literacy, not to just put them at that they're not related. For example, when we come to counting,
yes,
the words that they formed, they can as well them and they see the interrelations of subjects.
Yes.
So the success that I'm hoping to achieve is that by the end of the 8 weeks, although I've only described the 2 weeks, I'd expect
if you can give us first give us the 2 weeks within. Give us the 2 weeks where you have described what you expect to have got within those 2 weeks first, and then you tell us about the 8 weeks.
Okay. I expect my learners to be more aware of their learning process. The learners also to be able to identify available opportunity within their environment to learn. Okay. And their motivation should be intrinsic instead of extrinsic. and be more confident. And the values that I'll expect them to maybe acquire is empathy and responsibility.
And how will you be measuring those 4 things you are saying? Motivation, all the 4 things you have mentioned, all the 4 success indicators. How will you be measuring them? Because I expect them to be measured from day 1. You won't just wait until 2 weeks, but there's some indicators you'll be checking along the way.
Yeah, I'll focus more on formative assessment. Throughout the lesson, I'll be able to measure if they're really, through observation, if they're really moving towards these successes that we are looking to achieve.
So give us a brief indicators from below expectation, approach expectation, meeting expectation, and exceeding expectation.
Yeah,
just take one and give us indicators.
In the rubrics,
yes,
we'll be having those that are exceeding expectation. Like in the case of being assertive and critical thinkers, like in reading comprehension, they'll be able to ask even those burning questions that they are not able to ask.
Okay.
That is through after we have read maybe a short passage. And when it comes to numeracy, those will be able to prefer other methods of doing a specific task. Will be able to do that confidently, not thinking that the teacher forced them to do a particular method.
Yes.
So that is how I'll be using the rubrics. So those that will meet that will exceed expectation, approach expectation, meet expectation, and below expectation.
Do you see the rubrics being your compass on telling you what is happening and informing you on what needs to be done for it to be better? And how do you see that?
Yeah, I prefer the rubrics because of the indicators and the levels that are there in the rubrics. They're able to assist me in showing the measurement and the assessment.
Okay. Now continue. So after 8 weeks, you like to?
After the 2 weeks.
After 8 weeks, you have told us after 2 weeks. Now after 8 weeks, how will it look like?
After the first 2 weeks, I'll have to go to the next adaptables that I'm planning to have.
Yeah.
I will focus on selective listening and multiple perspective, as well as non-routine.
All in 2 weeks or each for 2 weeks?
The first 2 weeks were for critical thinking and major core competencies. And then the next 2 weeks.
So you know that we did the all core competencies, and then we also broke, because critical thinking has 4 abilities. It has assessing evidence, non-routine, multiple perspective, and solving non-routine problems. Yeah. So when you talk about critical thinking and problem solving, see it through the 4 abilities. So maybe I will advise in the first week, focus on what you said, motivation, learners preferring to learn some subject and not others, and the level of engagement. So you focus on that, where you're looking at self-efficacy and learning to learn. You take that for the first 2 weeks. Then the next 6 weeks remaining, you divide the 4 abilities so that you can take, because 6 weeks, those can be 30 days. So you can divide the 4 ability, maybe one you take for 8 days, 8 days, 8 days, like that.
Okay. So when it comes to feedback to the children.
Yes.
I'll focus on the use of PIPs.
Yes.
So that I can be very specific on what I expect them to do and not to do.
Sure.
Hello?
Yes.
Should I continue?
Yeah, you have 2 minutes. We'll finish.
Okay, about assessing evidence.
No, we are only giving one. We're only giving one. Is there anything you need from that one? Because we want to give you proper feedback in the one so that when we are reviewing the others, you can improve on the same.
Okay.
For those two weeks, is there anything else you need from us as help? And I'm opening it to everybody in the room: Veronica, Beatrice, Dorcas, Hannah, Julia, Margaret, and Rose Jerry. Anything you want to help Rosaline from Ruiru regarding her school project? She has just presented, she has an 8-week project, but she has given us the first 2 weeks where she'll be covering on self-efficacy and learning to learn. And the idea she wants to focus is in motivating learners and making them to prefer all subjects together, because she noticed that they have a preference to only some learning areas. And she's also thinking of having an interdisciplinary, whereby when she's teaching numeracy, she can also cover literacy. And when she's covering literacy, she can also address numeracy issues. Any input from our colleague, you can use the chat or you can unmute and speak. Rosaline, if you have any question, you can ask also.
Okay.
We are here to make your work better. Any idea to help Rosaline? So Rosaline, if you have any question, you'll just type there. We are going to address the questions. And
okay.
Your 9 minutes is now up. We'll now go to the next person. Who's going to present next? We have Veronica and Rosaline who has presented, and you have listened. So we are here to listen to your project and give some ideas on how it can be better. If you have questions, type them in the chat so that we'll help you as we come in. So time is up. We have now finished Veronica Waithera and Rosaline Maucha. So if you have any questions, any comments, you can post them in the chat so that we can see how to assist you. Now we are looking for Karuri. Any teacher from Karuri to present next? Karuri? We have Beatrice, Dorcas, Hannah, Julia, and we have Dorcas. You want to present? I can see you on hold. Or Julie, who would like to present next?
From Karuri.
That is who? Hannah?
I'm Hannah from Karuri.
Okay, Hannah Wangare Mbudia, please. Yes. The floor is yours. You have 9 minutes.
So I have the action plan for multiple perspective, deep structures, assessing evidence, and solving non-routine problems. Okay. But I'm going to focus more on assessing evidence.
For the first 2 weeks, eh?
The first 2 weeks. And
okay.
the current status of our school, and I'm concerned with literacy. One, our performance in our school is not good, it's poor, below average. Then you have people who guesswork, they guess, know this A, B, C, D. Then we have when we give them homework, they are also assisted by other people, guardians, other than the runners working hard for themselves. We also have guardians and parents. We also have guardians and parents who are not as much concerned with the homework. They don't bother to check. So for this reason, I feel that we have a duty to look for to solving our problems that we can improve our mean score. So the purpose of my doing this is so that we can improve the performance of Karuri, to make our runners be critical thinkers, to boost the runners team, also them to improve in reading and writing. Also, I would like to create confidence in learners. I would also like to involve the guardians and the parents in learning that we can succeed. So now the action I intend to take is that I want to make they will be providing the feedback so that they can be critical thinkers. I will be providing manageable work instead of giving too detailed that they may not understand. I also teach from known to unknown.
That is in numeracy or?
I'm focusing on literacy. And I'm a Kiswahili teacher, so I'm doing more on Kiswahili. So I intend, as we work with them to improve this, I intend to be using different methods in testing them. Whereby naweza kundakuwa nawapatia kama ni insha za aina tofauti. Mia maswali ya ufahamu. Jaza mapengo. Na hata kushiriki katika kutumia kama ni tarakilishi. Ili hii itafanya wawe na upendo kwa masomo zaidi. So I also involve them in learning that they will be writing the answers in groups, individually, reading them in class.
So you are walking us through the first 2 weeks, what you'll be doing, isn't it?
Yes, the first 2 weeks. The actions now I intended to put into practice. Yeah, then as I will be assessing them, I will be using PIP. So that is when I have positive overall appraisal, the estimate will be raised. Where I find that their role or their rankings and knowledge, I will find ways of improving them. For example, I can have remedial teaching. Then I also be commenting them positively.
And here you are talking about assessing evidence, isn't it?
Yes, I'm assessing evidence.
You want to build their skills of assessing evidence in Kiswahili?
In Kiswahili.
Sawa.
Yeah, considering that most of them don't have Kiswahili, so you have to find ways of making them into Kiswahili.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Then for collaboration,
yes,
I will involve my Kiswahili panel. Whereby I will enlighten them on what I have learned, so that we can assess on the improvement.
So what will the panel be helping you as you are implementing assessing evidence in class? What will be their role?
As they say, umoja ni nguvu. They will be assisting me in marking of the answers. So that they can give their views. They may have different views.
Okay.
We will try to uplift these children in writing. Yes.
Sawa, endelea.
At the end of it, I expect to have pupils who will be performing well. They will be self-motivated and be willing to work for themselves rather than maybe asking people to do their homework from home. Then they also be critical thinkers.
So that is the long term. Now, during the 2 weeks, as you're doing assessing evidence, how will you be checking if your learners are now able to assess evidence in the tasks you are giving? How will you be checking that?
Now, I'll be using
umewapatia insha. Continue.
Sasa wakifanya hizo kazi, I'll be using the criteria to check on their work. For example, in writing,
yes,
I'll be expecting those ones who are exceeding. Exceeding expectations, I'll be expecting them to be watakuwa wanaandika kwa ufasaha. Na wanaweza kuweka insha zao radha kwa kutumia methali. Tamadhali za lugha. Na kadhalika.
Okay.
Hawa wengine na wao ambao the ones who be meeting, ndio tunasema wanafikia matarajio. Hawa ni wale wanaweza kuandika vizuri, lakini wanatumia kama ni misemo na methali, si kama wale wa kiwango cha juu. Now, and the ones who be now approaching, they can write well, but to me, they are not putting any medals. But you can find their initials, they are well written, only that they are lacking those skills of putting the medals and such.
Okay.
Below average, they will be having problem in communication. Their writing may be out, wanatoka kwa mada, hawazingatii mada hawa. Na kuandika kwao pia kuna matatizo.
Okay. Sasa ukiangalia mada kuu yako ni waweze kuchangia na sababu, assessing evidence, ndio? Kwa hivyo utakuwa unawapatia sehemu gani katika hizo kuandika? Utaekaje? How will you shape the learning experience in your class so that it will allow them to assess evidence? That's what I'm trying to look at, yeah.
Kwanza, angalia ili kuona hiyo evidence, nitaangalia ile mada, lazima wazingatie ile mada. Na kama ni vidokezo, wawe na vidokezo ambazo zinalenga insha yetu. Na kama ni methali ziwe zinaafiki ile insha, si kupachika tu methali.
Naona sasa unaelewa vile ninavyouliza. Kwa hivyo ni muhimu wasipachike na pia vidokezo wanavyoviweka viweze kulingana na ile mada ya insha.
Wasipotoke.
Great. Yeah, that is good. So I can see that for the first 2 weeks you have clear ideas of who you will work with. You have clear idea of how you will be structuring the learning so that you are able to know, are they able to assess it? Because I like you to focus on assessing evidence from day one for the 10 days so that you have a measure. For example, the first 3 days, ukiwapatia insha ya kwanza, uangalie matokeo, alafu uone ni mbinu gani utatumia kama mwalimu kubadilisha vile unafunza ndio waimarike. Ubadilishe hiyo mbinu tena, alafu tena uwaongoze, waangalie, alafu tena uangalie matokeo, tena utafakari ni mbinu gani ungeweza kubadilisha. Sasa ukifanya hivyo kwa mifumo, ufanye mfumo wa siku tatu zingine, baada ya siku 10 utakuwa umeimarika, kwa sababu umejitafakari, umeangalia vile unavyofanya na umeangalia vile kazi yako inatoa matokeo gani. So it's very important as you are moving over the time, you have those cycles of reflecting. Thank you very much, Hannah. And if you have any question, please post it in the chat. We are going to answer as we are moving. So, asante sana. Nafikiri, I think now you are feeling much better. You will be able to do the other 6 weeks easily.
Actually, I'm feeling much better and empowered.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anna. So I'd like to ask the next presenter. We'll still have a chance to answer and your questions. So if you have any question, just post it in the chat. So we like to hear now from the next. Now we have 3 presenters from Ruiru who have presented: Veronica Waithera, Rosalind Maucha, Hannah Wangari. And you can see this is like a reflection session. We are actually learning more and getting more confident on how best to do this. So who will be our next volunteer? Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Rosalind, and thank you, Veronica. Who is our next presenter? We have Julie Katana. She's saying, I'm one of the people who got lost yesterday, even after listening to what was recorded. Right now, I'm getting the ideas. Thank you, Julie. I hope you are getting ideas from others. That's what we are aiming for this activity, is to build our confidence and to build our experiences. So who would like to go next? We are all going to present. We have enough time, so everybody is presenting. So, and you can see the more you present, the more you get ideas on how best. So we have Beatrice, Dorcas, Julia, Margaret, and Rose Njeri Waititu. Who would like to go next?
I can.
Welcome, Margaret Penina from TTC.
Yes, thank you.
The floor is yours.
Okay, my name is Margaret Penina Tieno from Thogoto Teachers College. I do not teach numeracy. I do not teach literacy, though I deal with visual literacy, that is art and craft. So I'm going to talk on the action plan from my perspective as a teacher of art. Now, I'm going to deal with the critical thinking and problem solving as far as the multiple perspective is concerned, assessing evidence and enhancing evidence, solving non-routine questions, deep and surface thinking. But I'm going to focus on assessing evidence and enhancing evidence. This is an 8-week plan. I believe our institutions are going to open in September, but I could still push it to February. I don't know. It will be discussed and agreed on. Now, the current status, as far as the performance of the students is concerned, is not so good. We have usually a written paper exam, and we have a practical paper exam. The practical paper is particularly not good because most of them don't have the foundations for the subject. And the written paper, it also isn't so good because there is a sort of lack of motivation. Now, the purpose of this action plan is to improve the performance and create confidence and self-drive in the learners who are student teachers so that they become better teachers. The action is to train them in assessing and enhancing evidence. This is going to be done through guiding them to research, to do more research, that is research reading more books for themselves so that they can have the information. That means I'll have to give them some topic areas, guided topic areas, so that they read. I'll also encourage them to do some online reading, like doing Google searches. I'll give them questions to guide their reading and research. I'm also going to collect questions and ask them also to collect questions and to do group discussion, and they check each other's questions, and I can also input where they're stuck. Otherwise, they should try to work on their own. I'll also try to help them to do practicals, more practicals, to support each other during the practicals, commenting on each other's work, and I also will comment on their work after they have commented. And the areas we are going to target to strengthen will be drawing, painting, and the graphic design, which are usually in paper 2. The people I'm going to collaborate with are the Dean of Curriculum, because the Dean of Curriculum is directly concerned with the academic performance of the students. So I'll collaborate with the Dean of Curriculum, and in the same breath, the senior principal, though I'll be talking to the Dean of Curriculum, and somehow it will get to the the chief principal. And we shall have a time planned and materials provided or resources provided. Now, the success indicators. What is going to show that there's been improvement? The students should be more confident, have a better self-esteem, more conversant with the art area, not just taking what the teacher has given them, having more than just what they've been given, because this is dealing with assessing evidence and enhancing evidence. They should be able to produce better art pieces on their own, not really having to be directed by the teacher. They produce the art pieces and they bring and they are looked at. And they should be able to teach the learners in the primary school more confidently, and to encourage the learners in the primary school to take up the subject and pursue it.
Thank you, Margaret. Still on the same point of performance indicator, you have given like a long term. Can you share with us the immediate, because you are focusing on assessing evidence? What will be your immediate indicators, as for example, day 1, day 2, day 3? What are the indicators you'll be using on a daily basis to track their improvement in terms of assessing evidence?
The way they handle topics, maybe give a spoken feedback about a topic, giving more information than just what they were given in the class, and also the kind of artwork that they'll be bringing around.
Okay, so will you have like a tool which you'll be using so that you can track if the progression is upwards, and what are the areas of review which you like to make over the 2 weeks?
They'll be topical. Can I call it topical attack of the area? Like you can, there can be concentration on the theory concerning painting, and then the practical concerning painting, or the theory concerning drawing, and the practical concerning drawing. Topical kind of, can I call it attack? Topical approach.
So how will you be checking? For example, I'm your students. How will you know that my level of assessing evidence has moved from level A to level B?
When it comes to the theory aspect, there's the notes that we were given, but there's what you have gotten that is new in that particular area. What more have you learned concerning that particular area apart from what I've just given you? And when it comes to the practical, we've done a little practical in the class. What other practical do you have that you have done, so that you can see that you have actually done better? I mean, it's not just the thing that you're given in class.
Okay. Okay, continue with your presentation. You have 2 minutes.
Now, in the area of the success indicators, there's the rating of exceeding, meeting, approaching, and below.
Yeah.
So let's take the area drawing, for instance, drawing. When it comes to the performance in drawing, let's say it is drawing from observation.
Yeah.
Have you done some more drawings? Are they better? Have you done a few? Have you not done any?
Okay.
Have you just sketched something like that? But you know, there's the theory and there's also the practical. So a topic area may have 2 parts to be looked at.
Okay.
And then there's the reflection. How has the performance been, maybe in a week? Is there anything worth praising? Is there a particular area that needs to be improved? Are there some strengths that are being seen? And what can we put in to improve? Thank you. I think that's what I have. And
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Margaret, for sharing a very elaborate action plan and what you want to do in the school project. And we are seeing that you're going to focus on the area of art, and you'll be looking at assessing evidence for the first 2 weeks, but you have an elaborate plan for 8 weeks, and that is very good. Let us go to the form. We have our form where we are giving our colleagues feedback. This feedback will be sent to all of us. Anybody who has a question to Tutor Margaret? Anybody who has a question? So we are doing well so far. We have 4 presentations, and we also need to see how we can make them better. And thank you for taking that challenge to be the first presenters. That's Veronica, Rosaline, Hannah, and Margaret. The first 3 from Ruiru Primary School, and Margaret from TTC Thogoto. So we'd like to see who is going to be next. Who is our next volunteer, so that we see the participants? We have Beatrice, Dorcas, Julia, and Rose. Who's next? Who's going to be next? You can see the idea here is we are sharing our experiences and we are getting feedback on how to get better, and the kind of questions or discussions we are having is giving us insight on how we can improve our school projects, where it will become a learning opportunity as we are implementing the ability, we are enhancing the abilities we learned in this particular session. So who's going to go next so that we listen? We have Beatrice, Dorcas, Julia, and Rose. Jerry. Beatrice, Dorcas, Julia, and Rose Jerry, can you hear us? We'd like to give you opportunity to share. Beatrice, Dorcas, Julia, and Rose Watitu. can you hear us? You unmute. Beatrice, can you hear us? Beatrice Waweru. Rose Njeri Watitu, yes.
I'm still trying to get ideas on what is happening.
Yes.
I had a problem with my, so I'm kindly requesting I be the next one.
You had a problem in?
Yesterday I had a problem when all this was being explained.
Okay, but
so I'm still getting.
You have heard
still getting ideas on what.
Have you heard what people are saying?
I have. I'm making mine now. So I'm requesting to be the next one.
Which school are you from?
Karuri Primary.
Can you tell your colleague? Can you ask your colleagues if they can speak? Do not worry. We are here to walk the journey together. So you can, if you have a challenge, you can share what you have done, and we can assist you. Because the idea is to make it possible for you.
Even if I'm halfway through.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. This is work in progress. You have a whole week and next week, Friday, to present. So if you give us some insight, we might help you to make it better. At least now you have had 4 people. Yes.
Let me do numeracy on assessing evidence.
But you have identified something you took from assessing evidence, something you took from multiple perspectives, something you took from deep structure, and something you did from solving a routine problem. We are supposed to have taken something from all of this from yesterday, and then now today we describe one in depth.
Now that is where I'm stuck, because I didn't.
Yeah, do not worry, because I'm sure you will listen to the video. We shared the video of what happened yesterday. So now tell us what you like to do about assessing evidence, having heard from what people have said. I'll be probing you, asking you questions just to deepen the understanding and also to give you guidance. So let's walk together.
Okay. I'll first give my current situation.
Yes.
My school has a problem with mathematics. They have a negative attitude.
Okay.
And they only depend on what the teacher has provided, as in they do work because the teacher demands, not willingly. And therefore we have a very poor performance on numeracy.
So when you say performance, how does it look like?
Most of the pupils don't, they're below average.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you say below, be specific, because we don't know what is below average.
Okay, most get below 50%.
Okay.
Only up 50% and above.
Okay.
Because of the negative, they don't believe in themselves.
Okay.
I want to create the confidence in them, at least to change and to make them have a positive attitude towards numeracy, to ensure they learn willingly and independently, and so that they can improve.
Okay. Okay.
So now. Can I now start on the action?
Yes, now you have given us a situation. You want to solve that situation. You want to change. Why do you want to change that situation?
Okay, I want to change so that the performance can improve. So what I will do, I will give the first maybe 1 or 2 days. I'll give an exercise and see the outcome, and we'll have a few explain on how they came up with the answers, to at least look at whether they have the evidence.
Okay.
Whether they just did it or they copied somewhere, to know how they came up with the answers they get. Then I will encourage them to use small learning materials, because again in the school depend on only the textbooks they are given by the teachers.
Okay.
So I will encourage them to use to come up with more learning materials, and even use the tablets they have in school. I'll teach them how to use them to get the answers, or to work more on to explore more. I will ensure that I create groups where they can discuss. I will also encourage peer teaching, as in we have those above average to guide those who are below average. As in, I will give a sum on the blackboard, ask one to come and explain, and even tell us where he or she got the answer. Then I will include the mathematics panel. All the teachers who teach mathematics in the school.
Yes.
I will make some of them will be resource persons. They'll come and talk to their children, encourage them. They will come and see what is happening in the class.
Yes.
And the success indicators, I will.
You are only going to involve the subject panels. Anybody else going to involve?
The head teachers, the administration will also assist me, because I might be using more learning materials, and they're the ones to provide. Then I continue. Then on the success indicators, by the end of those 2 weeks, I'll want to see whether the learners are more confident, whether they can stand and talk and maybe explain on a sum on how they got the answer, where they got it from. I will want to see whether they are willing to contribute, because currently you will ask us question, most of them they don't want to contribute. So by the end of those 2 weeks, or rather the 8 weeks, I will want to see whether a bigger number is contributing.
So for these 2 weeks, how frequent will you be checking the status of your performance? Because now you have your success indicators. For the 10 days in school, how frequent will you be checking where they are?
After I give an exercise, I will see whether maybe we are improving or we are not improving. Then I'll change my way of teaching, maybe of working on it. After I give an exercise, maybe at 2, I will want to see whether I have more confident pupils in the class, whether more are willing to get answers. Even if it is just raising their hands.
Okay. Now give us the success indicators in terms of meeting expectation, approaching expectation, below expectation, and above expectation. Take one performance and break it down so that we understand how it looks like.
That is the part I don't understand. Currently, they are on approaching. I would say they are below. Currently, they are on approaching, but maybe I will see whether they are meeting. I'm blank for that part.
Because what happens is, for example, you have said that when you give them a question, you'll be asking them how they got it. So you'll be looking, are they able to explain the evidence? So maybe you can come up with, for each, you have an indicator. For example, I want to know if my learners can support their working in mathematics. Are they able to explain how they came up with the answer? So that could be one of the indicators of success, that the learners are able to explain how they arrived at the answer. So that becoming broad, now you break it down. do you want, ideally, you want all the learners to be able to explain. Then those who are approaching, you want most of the learners in your class to be able to explain. And those who are below are those who, they have to explain at the end of the day, but they need to be prompted and they need to be supported by the teacher. And those who are exceeding, they explain, but they also give alternative ways of solving the same question. I'm just giving you an example of one indicator. So for each performance, you have an indicator which is in 4 level, so that when you're monitoring day 1, day 2, day 3, you can be seeing, are my learners moving towards meeting? Are some more going to exceeding? How many are still there at below? So that you change your approaches. So by the 5th day, your teaching is changing, but also your learners are improving. So by the first 2 weeks, you'll have a clear perspective on how assessing evidence has impacted on your learners. And that means as you're going to week 2, when you're starting maybe multiple perspective, you will not stop doing assessing evidence. You have now more confidence on evidence. You'll continue doing assessing evidence, but now you'll focus on multiple perspectives. So you'll be building on the new ideas which you are bringing on board in terms of what you're doing. Is that a bit clear?
Clear.
Yes, so it's a journey. It's a journey, but the success indicators are very critical because they will be telling us, are we going in the right direction or where are we? So they are very, very important because they will be giving us indicators for how are we doing what we are doing. So spend more time on the success and go granular, go deeper in the success. How will the success be? How will it be measured? Because that will help you knowing, am I doing better? Am I impacting my learners? So you can continue.
I think I'm done.
Any question you have, any worries, any concerns?
Well, maybe I'll ask in the chat.
Okay.
But for now, I think, as I told you, I was halfway.
No
I had
problem.
not finished completely. At least
That
I have
is
an
okay.
idea. You've
That is okay. That is okay. Do not worry. We are here to make sure your project succeeds. Yes.
What about this part of encouraging peer teaching? I don't know whether it can also help in giving them confidence.
Yeah.
The peer, I had peer teaching.
Encouraging peer teaching is something which has been proven to have an impact. You might need to read an article on how to do it better because it has been written and there is evidence on how to do. But don't forget that your focus is now assessing evidence. So maybe if you can now find out those who are exceeding expectations, they are able to explain their questions and how they got it. Then now you can pair them with the others and now they can tell them of how to. Now we are coming to the learning to learn. So if I'm able to assess evidence in my questions and you know that student A is able to do that, you can pair me with students B, then I can show the other students, how am I explaining my answers? So that is how peer teaching is. But I'll recommend that you get one article or two, and if you request, we can upload an article in the Google Classroom on peer support and peer teaching, so that because we believe in evidence, so when you read, you will see some strategies on how do you do peer teaching in your class, so that you focus. Don't lose your focus on assessing evidence, but now you're using a strategy of peer teaching to support assessing evidence. So that is possible. That is very possible.
Okay, it's something I've been doing in class. So, but
yes,
what I've been doing is that, okay, I give one or two the above average students.
Yes.
I sit there and listen to what they're teaching, where they got the answers from, and all that. I'm hoping I do the right thing.
Yes. So when now you yourself you're going to go through assessing evidence. When we send those two articles, you'll read, and then you will see where you are aligned, and you will see alternative ways. That is multiple perspective. which you will take them up and improve. Thank you for sharing. And that is impressive. If you have any other question, please share in the chat. So we now have almost an hour remaining, and we have 3 people. We have Beatrice, Dorcas, and Rose. If these are your colleagues from your school, give them a call and tell them there is no exam. We are just talking. You know, they can hear me. We just want to celebrate you. We are here to learn. So Hannah Wangare Mbudia has presented. Sorry, we have Dorcas Mwikali and we have Beatrice Waweru.
My colleague is Julia. Julia will present. Julia Katana.
She's not in here now. Julia, can you give her a call? She's missing.
Okay.
The rest, please give her feedback based on what she spoke. We are waiting for Julia, but we also have Beatrice Waweru, Dorcas Mwikali. We have 3. Dorcas Mwikali, Beatrice Waweru. Can you hear us? Dorcas. Dorcas Mwikali Kavai or Beatrice Waweru. We'd like you to come on board. And Rose Jerry, please call Julia. She's not in class. Beatrice Waweru. Yes, Dorcas Mwikali. Are you ready to share?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to our session. We'd like to hear your project, your broad project for 8 weeks in summary, and then in deep, you take us through your 2 weeks approach as using the what, why, who, when, how, and your success criteria. This is a learning opportunity. So as you move, we might ask some questions, and you also might ask us some question on how to make it better. Welcome. You are from which school?
Kiboko. 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 Yes. Okay. But I still have a problem. I've not understood well this. And my colleagues are in different webinar. They have got a lot.
Okay. So don't worry. Don't worry. Share what you have. We listen and guide you.
Okay. Ningetaka kusema kwanza shule yetu kuna shida kiasi. Watoto wetu, our catchment area, we have 3 slums. Na watoto wetu wanatoka hizo slums. In fact, our population is 215 children. Na wote they are from the slums. Okay, we have a problem. Tuko na shida sana ya watoto wakifika kutoka class 7, class 8. You see wana lose interest kwa masomo because wanaona when they finish they'll not go to high school, so they have been having a low esteem. Wanaona hata tukimaliza we are going nowhere, and they have seen when you wamewatangulia, they have not enrolled to secondary, so we have that problem ya low esteem. Na there is another problem here, negative attitude towards maths.
Yes.
I don't know why it is so, but I'm planning to do something on this issue of in numeracy about maths, that I encourage these students. I do more and more practice in numeracy, of which I'll ask some of colleagues to collaborate with, like teacher
Now,
deputy.
Before you continue, thank you for sharing the current challenge in your school.
Yeah.
And you have attended a 6-day session. And today is this session. What are the things that you picked out that you like to do? Can you list maybe 2 or 3 things that you think, I want to do this in my school? Let's start with
especially in literacy, I've chosen to do Insha. For one, Insha.
Yes.
Swahili Insha. For one, these children are improving by mother tongue. You find that the performance of Insha, they are using a lot of mother tongue, which is interfering in their performance. In fact, they are below expectation, because you see, majority of them, they get 12 out of 40, of which is worrying.
Okay.
And I'm
now
going
I want you to identify something you learned from the course which you want to implement in Insha so that they improve their score in Insha.
In fact, I've gotten many ideas in this course. It was my first time. I've never taught in lower primary. I've been teaching on class 7 and 8 in Kiswahili. So though it has been a challenge for CBC, but when I've attended this, at least I've gotten ideas of this deep structure, service structure. This is what at least I've got an idea. And with that one, I'm going to use it to assist, like where I should be assisted by panel teachers to help me when I give these children Insha, I guide them, niwapatie vidokezi nini, then the teachers, I'll ask them to help me in marking and see the improvement they are approaching to.
Okay, so now tell us the first 2 weeks. What is it that you're going to do from what you have learned here? Just take us through. Take one, either evidence or that one of them, and take us through what you are going to do in the first 2 weeks.
In the first 2 weeks, I'm planning to do a bit of numeracy. In math, there is a problem in some equations, especially in class 7, having that problem of algebra and others. So I'm planning to dwell there so that these children will be able to answer questions, equation concerning that, and they have critical thinking on how, if I say x plus 2, you get 20. They'll know how to get that value of x, and even them to come up with also with their examples in the line of that algebra.
So take us in detail for those 2 weeks. Which one were you addressing? You're saying x plus something, they're able to answer. Are you assessing multiple perspective, or are you assessing solving a routine problem, or is it assessing evidence? Which one do you want to start with?
Routine, then after that.
Okay, now take us through the 2 weeks. How will you do non-routine with your numeracy class? Tell us what you'll do, why will you do that, who will you work with, and how will it happen? And if you succeed, how will it look like in your class?
The people to work with, They are just my fellow teachers to assist me to address this problem of negativity in maths and that low esteem ambao wanafunzi. I'll do it especially in class 7 and 8 because now they are a bit mature enough to understand when you advise them that you should not have that negative attitude towards less any subject like maths. I'm planning to do that within those 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and I hope I'll succeed.
Okay, so
the current situation
you're going, so in the 2 weeks, you're going to use it in the mathematics. Give us an example of how you'll be using something in mathematics.
Can't hear you.
Give us an example in mathematics now. Want now to use assessing evidence, the skills assessing evidence. How will you now use it in during the first week? Just take us through.
Okay, I'll ask the available materials which will assist me. The plan of that. I'll
Beatrice, there is noise behind you. Please mute Beatrice Waweru. There is noise behind. Beatrice Waweru. Beatrice Waweru, there is noise from your side. Can you mute so those Dorcas can share? Dorcas, I'm going to mute, then you unmute yourself and you speak. Okay, now it's okay. Dorcas, continue.
Mine, I'm almost exhausted.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. But I think you have got the idea that during the first 2 weeks, you'll be focusing on grade 7 and 8. And the issue is you want to build their confidence in mathematics so that they love mathematics and also they have their self-esteem, having a hope that even if they're not going to go to Form 1, but they will be better in mathematics. And therefore, you are saying that you have spent the assessing evidence, meaning that in teaching in the class, you will be like guiding them on how do you get the answer, how do you explain your answers, how do you support whatever you are saying in class, and you'll be doing that during the first 2 weeks, and then you will be observing. So that the key thing that you need to come up with how will you know you have succeeded? You need to come up with some indicator. For example, my learners will be able to explain any statement they make. For example, if we say there is deforestation in Western Kenya, they have evidence. They can say, I have read here, I can see the number of trees have reduced, and I can see the number of logging. Having that aspect of can support themselves. You can start with something small, that whatever you do, you can ask your children why. What do you mean? Tell me more. So they, I have to support it. Then you start implementing that in your class. When you are teaching, kama unafunza Kiswahili, unauliza maswali. Mtoto akiwa anaelezea jambo, unamuuliza kwa nini? Nielezee zaidi. Je, una mawazo tofauti? So ukiwa na mwelekeo, so ningependekeza kuwa ujaribu vile utafanya, alafu upate mawazo kutoka kwa walimu wenzi. Asante sana mwalimu Dona. So we are now going to go to Dorcas. You have a question?
It's only I'm disturbed by a lot of noise. Even I can't hear you.
It was coming from Beatrice Waweru, but now she's quiet. So thank you very much, Beatrice. And if you have any, Dorcas, if you have any question, please type it in the chat, and we'll see how we can help you. We are here to help each other. Even type it in the WhatsApp, and we'll give you guidance. So our next presenter is Beatrice Waweru, and then we are going to have Julia Katana. So Beatrice Waweru, please tell us your name, your school, and share with us your action plan.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Okay, I'm Beatrice Waweru. Hello. Hello.
We can hear you.
I'm Beatrice. Okay, I'm Beatrice Waweru from Ruiru Primary School.
Yes.
My action plan for 2 weeks. I'll dwell on, but this time, let me first of all say, yesterday I was lost. So I'm what I've built up right now from what I heard from other people who are presenting. So please, it is try and error.
Okay.
So
that is okay. So,
it is literacy, grade 1.
Beatrice, that is okay. We are all learning here. So don't worry about that.
Okay. I'll deal in literacy, and I'll use multiple perspective. The problem with the school or the area that I am in is about poor reading. Children come to school when they are nothing, let me not say nothing, but when they are mixed up with languages. They come from different tribes, so they mix up language. So when they come to school, it becomes very difficult for us to handle such pupils. But on reading, I experienced problems where people are mixing sounds from their community and the English sounds. So I want to look at reading, and I want to improve poor reading in our school. So the skills that I'm going to use here is self-efficacy and critical thinking. I would say the purpose of doing this is to improve the poor performance. As you know, English is the mother of all languages, all subjects. So when they are good in English, they'll be in a position to answer the areas. So still I'll deal with, the other purpose is to have a holistic learner who can do all things independently. I'll also, the other purpose is to improve general performance in all areas and also to better learners' future. The activities that I'll be giving to my learners are like sounds using charts, teach them sounds using charts, and as they improve, or as the first learners who will have, I'll start giving them words, and I'll still improve on, other activities that I'll give them is reading in pairs, and reading individually. On the side of collaborators, I'll use the first collaborator as my partner, the class, who will also help me in teaching sounds and assessing those sounds. I'll also involve the senior teacher who will assess my work. I'll also use the head teacher who will provide me with the materials. And at the same time, I'll also use parents by giving children those cutouts to go and read at home with their parents so that they can be helped. On assessing whether they have whether they are I'm doing some work or whether they are running, I'll give them some task of reading sounds, reading words cut out, reading some sentences. I think I'm through.
So thank you very much for sharing, Beatrice. Now, for all this, you said you are working on which ability in the critical thinking and problem solving? We have 4. We have assessing evidence, we have multiple perspective, we have deep structure, and we have solving non-routine structures. So Beatrice, which one are you addressing? Beatrice, you can unmute yourself and tell us which one are you accessing? Which one are you?
Deep structure.
Deep structures, okay. And you're going to do this in the first 2 weeks?
Yes.
Now, in your success, you mentioned some success on what you like to see. So maybe can you tell us deeply in depth? For example, take us through one indicator and tell us how will those who meet expectation, what will they be doing? Those who are approaching, those who are above. Can you just take one and give us some insights?
For example, I'll take approaching expectation. Learners, I'll be giving them some tasks, like giving them some word cutout to see whether they are approaching, whether they approach some which we have gone through or which we have passed on, people which has passed through.
Okay. So you want to improve the literacy skills of your learners. For them, I can hear you are talking about cutouts, you are talking about phonemic awareness, pronunciation, and reading. So you'll have at least, for example, if it is pronunciation, I want to, you'll be give them cutout, and then they want to speak. So you'll be checking how are they able to read, to know the tall, and the R in tall is the different with the R in stall, something like that. So will you be having something to track their performance so you see how they're improving, and then you change your teaching so that to see are they able to see the deep structure in what they are doing?
Yes. I think when I'll start with the sounds. As they read sounds and they are aware of some of these sounds, start giving them cutouts, words cutouts. After cutouts, I'll give them the sentences to read. Those will be moving faster than the others. So I'll be giving work as they move on.
Yes. Thank you very much for sharing, because these are normal challenges which I think you are trying to address. It's very important as we are working with the learners. We be specific on what we are focusing on, and then we can see how to help them, because that way, when they are learning, we will be able to see which areas are we supposed to support them and where are the deficiencies. Because having a closer look and listening through your learners, you'll be able to see which areas are they improving, which areas are they developing, and how can you intervene and help in what they are doing so that they can become better. Thank you very much, Beatrice. If you have anything you want us to help you, you can type it in the chat so that we'll respond to those questions. So now we are going to go to the next presenter. That is Julia Katana. You were mentioned, Julia Katana. So if you can mute us yourself and take us through the school project you like to do, based on what you have learned from this particular session. Then we have, after Julia, we have Komu. Komu is coming in and out. He's not there again. So Julia Katana, the red carpet is yours.
Okay, as I said earlier, I'm one of those people who got lost yesterday, but from what my colleagues have taught right now, or have discussed right now, at least I have that confidence to maybe to prepare one. So, okay, my name is Julia Katana from Karuri Primary School.
Karuri,
so
welcome.
my area of learning is numeracy, and I'm going to.
Julia, remember you have an 8-week project. You have an 8 weeks project, and this 8 weeks, you're supposed to implement the 4 abilities, that is multiple perspective, assessing evidence, solving non-routine structure, and solving non-routine problem and deep structure. So that's a broad one. So you can give us the broad one, the status of your school. Then you take one and you walk us through on how you'll implement it. Welcome.
Okay. So I'll deal with accessing evidence.
For the first 2 weeks,
For the first 2 weeks, yes.
Okay.
And I have said the area of learning is numeracy, and my current status of my school, the maths performance is okay. Generally, it's not the learners they're below average, and I can see they have no interest in mathematics.
Okay.
So when I say below average, I mean most of them get 50 and below. Yeah, so my purpose is that I will be able to make these children be independent, confident, and also have the will to learn.
Okay.
They'll be willing to learn, yes.
Okay.
And yes, okay. Then my action, group the children or the learners. I will group them into different groups and give them a lot of work for them to tackle. And also, I will love them to do it on the blackboard for me to see where they've gotten the answer.
Okay.
Or how, yes. And also, I'll give more materials like charts and formulas for them to improve their mathematics techniques. And also, I'll involve the parents because we normally give them homework, and I think parents, they are also part and parcel of the children to improve. So they have to check their work and sign that they've checked the work. And success, I will involve the people that are involved, the math panel. This is at least they'll help me with the areas that maybe the learners need help. So I think it's good to involve the panel, mathematics panel. Also, my head teacher, wherever I need maybe materials, he can provide. I also involve him. And the success indicators, I think by the end of the 2 weeks, I will be able to, the learners will be able to solve different mathematics problems. And even for those who are more above expectation, I can form some groups for them to be group leaders, so that when I give the group work, I see if they can lead other pupils. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Now, as you are finishing, remember your focus was assessing evidence. I like you to drill deeper on if I am students in your class, how will you know that I am improving in assessing evidence? I've been in your class for day 1, day 2, week 1, 5 days, day 6, day 7, week 2, up to the 10th day. What will you do so that you know I am improving in assessing evidence?
Okay, I think I'll give personal works to those people who maybe they're below average. So for me to know if they're if they are understanding what I'm teaching. So I'll be checking that work personally, one-on-one, so that they can show me how they've arrived to the answer. And if there's a problem, I assist.
So what tool will you be using to know where your learners are? You have a cohort of 30 children in class. What tool will you use to know 50 are able to do this? So I want you to tell me the tool and how will you know which learners are where?
I think I'll have my my progress record.
Yes.
And I'll be following the process record to know after each and every, maybe I'll give them a pretest, and after each and every pretest, I will record the marks, and I'll able to know the weak and the ones who are not weak for me to follow them. So I think I'll use the progress record.
Okay. Now you want to focus on assessing evidence. You want to build the skills of your learners to be able to assess evidence. If you compare the way you are teaching before and the way you will be teaching, what difference are you going to introduce in your teaching?
The difference is that I will involve my learners more. Maybe that time I used to teach as general. I don't have. I used to teach the whole class. So right now I'll be selecting the ones who they're weak, and those, and I'll put more of group work for them to I to monitor them.
So we want our learners to be able to assess evidence the way we were taught in class. You remember the way we are given? Can you remember the lesson we went through, the lesson which was taught in your class as you are attending on assessing evidence? Remember you used the donkey, how the donkey got their stripes?
Yeah.
You remember that class which we went through?
Yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, and we are being asked because we were being modeled in assessing evidence. So what you're saying now is you'll be using groups, you'll be using learner's voice, and the reason you are doing that is you want to see, are they able to explain their answers? Are they able to tell you more about what they have done? Are they able to do evidence of their thought process? And you see, when you use issues like questioning can really help you, because if Juma says animals, you might ask, tell me more. Then, because animals are grazing. Why? Because they need to eat. And you are discussing about why are we having shortage of food? And maybe the issue could be animals are rampaging in farms and eating other people's food. So as you are thinking, don't lose your focus on assessing evidence. You have talked of very key two things which are very key. One is the learner's voice. So you said you will be encouraging the learner's voice. Now, you need something to check. In your lesson as you are teaching, you might have a checklist of your students and you see who is talking in your class, because if your focus is to increase learner's voice so that you can see that they are now sharing evidence, you have a checklist. In my class, when somebody talks, you just tick. Then you will go and get who is talking most of the time. And then the next thing you check, what is the quality of feedback they are saying? Are they saying teacher, or are they just saying yes? or are they saying yes because? So that way, gradually build your learners from teacher to yes because the animal were able to. So you can build their depth of responses by pushing them over time. So within the 2 weeks, you can gradually move your learners by the way you teach, the way you ask questions, the way you engage. You can gradually move them from one level to the other over time.
Thank you so much.
Is that something helpful to you?
Very much. I feel so much motivated because at least at first I was giving up, but now I feel motivated.
Yes, because the idea of what we are doing is we learned some new ideas in this course, and we know where we are coming from. We know the situations in our school. So it's like we are being given a toolbox. Now, when you have a toolbox, you look at the problem, then you select the right tool and you apply. If it doesn't solve, you go back to your toolbox, you look if there's another one which will help you work. So it is supposed to be something which is continuously. And now, because when you plan and you have a clear steps plan, you see, it's just like when you're traveling. When you're traveling from Mombasa to Nairobi and you want to check where you are, you check when you see you are in Voi, you can see, oh, I'm approaching Nairobi. Then you check when you see you are in Mtitwandei, oh, I'm halfway. You can imagine if I'm going to Nairobi, I check, then I realize I'm in Malindi. I will get confused. The next time I check, I'm in Garissa. So the idea of planning is to help us so that when we are moving, we're able to check and see where are we. Are our action giving what we are supposed to get? Is it helping us do what we are supposed to get? How are we moving? So thank you for that. Do you have any question on how we can get better?
I think I need to understand about the success indicators for sure, because this is where I don't understand.
Okay, can we take one of your success you want to do?
Like the one I had prepared, I'd say by the end of the 2 weeks, my learners will be able to solve different math problems. So about this, I think I didn't understand about this above expectation, approaching those things.
You have said different?
My learners will be able to solve different math problems, mathematics problems.
So, okay, different mathematics problem is what we want to share. Let us see how we can solve that. So we solve different mathematical problems. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it very well.
So now we want to share different mathematics problem. So why do you want them to solve different mathematics problems?
Because I expect them to do that because I've taught so many things, and you see here, at first they were below average, and these are the things that makes them fail. So I wanted to see if they're able to tackle those areas that they were giving them problems.
So the issue, the main issue here is different. So when you say different, are you talking about, for example, if you give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sums, am I able to solve all of them, or what is the issue?
The issue is that they can okay, the mix, if you give them a mixed questions, you see, they're able to think and tackle them very well. Mixed questions. So, that means from another topic, from another strand, different.
Yes, I get that. So your learners are having a problem of having a question which requires different aspects. Maybe it has algebra, and it has another concept.
Yeah.
So that's challenge. So
that challenge.
Yeah, so for meets expectation, you normally start with meets expectation. You normally start there. So what would you like to have? You like all, all is the number of learners. So all the learners to be able to solve all mixed question effectively.
Okay.
I want you to see the words I'm making bold. All is one of your variable. Another all is one your variable, and another effectively is one of your variable. What I'm having underlined is the main idea. That is what you are focusing. And what I'm having on italic, this is the people you are addressing. Those are your learners. So that is what you want mixed expectation to be there. So you need to decide when you are going to approaching expectation, because we have approaching expectation. We have approaching expectation. We have below expectation. And we have exceeding expectation. So it is this now you decide what will be your, what variable will you change. So for example, what I do, I can take the same statement I put here, the same statement, but then for this I say some of the learners to be able to solve all questions effectively with some assistance.
Okay.
Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Then when I go to the next one, below expectation, I copy the same. Then I say few learners. Few of the learners to be able to solve all mixed with, instead of some assistance, I say with a lot of assistance.
Few
because
learners.
at the end of the day, they have to solve all the mixed questions. At the end of the day, you need them to solve all the questions. Then when you go to above, you copy the same, and I can put here exceeding, and I say all the learners to be able to solve all mixed questions effectively with innovative multiple approaches.
Okay.
Are you seeing that? So I've taken one, and I've been able to break it down into 4 sessions. So any performance, you start with that. Then now you see what is it that you are going to graduate. You can graduate the number. You can graduate the frequency. For example, you can say all the time, some of the time, rarely. Or you can say all the students, a few students, or some of the students. So this is how you can use to break down your success criteria. And is it getting a bit better?
Yeah, I've understood very well.
So if you take this, and then this will help you, because now if week 1, you have most of them in meets, and then week 2, maybe week 1 you have many in below, week 2 they are approaching like that. That will help you in moving from one level to the other.
Thank you so much.
Did you find that helpful?
Very much.
So, any other question from our colleagues? Any question? We are here to help you, and we are here to ensure that whatever you do, you are successful. That is what we need to do. So sorry, it's raining from my side. You'll hear some noise.
Butcher.
Any question?
Butcher.
Any question from the team that you like assistance? I want to see if there is any person remaining so that we see how we can close our session. We still have some minutes, and I want to respond to your question, to your questions. Remember, we are here to support you. So if you have any question, you have anything that you want us to clarify, the way you see Julia had a question, and I tried my best to support. Any question which you think you like to share? I'd like to show you a small video I showed yesterday. If you had a problem, maybe you can relook at it today. It might give you an insight as we are trying to, let me see if it can play. Tell me if it's playing. Somebody has taken over my meeting. Somebody is taking over my meeting. Okay, so I wanted just to play that, and I hear what are your perspective. This is a different project. It's not for education, but we can borrow a lot from that. Any reaction? You can unmute and say, are you taking anything from this video? Anything that you are taking? You can unmute and share. Or you can raise up your hand. Who wants to share something about the video that you have learned from that video that will help you in your action plan? Any volunteer? Rose Jerry, can we start with you?
The video has kind of helped me to have a proper plan, to like know where and where to enter from. Like, for instance, what is it that I want to do in school? Why?
Yes.
What I want to do. What I had talked about, maybe creating confidence. Then who is to help me?
Okay.
Maybe when it's always good to have a timeline on anything that you want to do. Because if you don't have 10 years time, it's always the most important part on how you're going to tackle the problems, how you're going to not only the performance, that generally everything in the school. Then whether whatever you're working on is succeeding. So once again, to know whether whatever you're doing is helping the community, the school at large, so that if it is not different.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Margaret is asking about the cost. Yeah, remember, Margaret, some of these projects might need cost because you might go and buy some material, take children to the field. But when we are doing our process, we said you go through 3 levels. The first one is brainstorm, and then the second one is evaluate, and the third one was prioritize. And when you talk about prioritize, is we are trying to avoid anything that will have a cost, so that we use low cost, no cost material, so that it is easy. As a startup, it's always easy to start with the low hanging fruits, the one where you don't need cost. But eventually you might need to be innovative. For example, when you're doing your art, you might like to bring an artist and invite them to speak to your tutees so that they understand the art and its effect. So that might be a costly thing for you, and then that might come in the budget. So Margaret, maybe you can unmute and tell us something which you have picked from the video. Tutor Margaret. You're still on mute. Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. I just put the one on the camera. So in the video, I saw the several questions: what, why, who, when, how, and there were 2 hows, where. So I noticed that there was how to do and how much it will cost. And I had missed the where also. So I also noticed the where. So the how much is the one that attracted my attention, because I thought of the material, the resource person, and sometimes even upgrading of facilities.
Exactly.
Yeah, when facilities are upgraded, it also brings motivation.
Sure.
That's my observation concerning that clip of the video.
Thank you very much. Do we have anybody else in the room to tell us from the video, what are they taking away? Julia Katana? Can you unmute and tell us what you have taken from the video? We have heard from Rose, we have heard from Margaret. Julia?
Okay, with me, I think the what, why, how, when. I feel like what I need to have strategies for what will I use for my children to understand well, and also for the why, the purpose for me, the purpose, yeah, and for the how, and whom will I involve?
Yes.
And for the when, I should have a time frame. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is informing your project, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, let us go to Hannah Wangari. Hannah, your reaction to the video?
Yeah, for me, it has given me an outline of how to strategize on this. And not only has it done that, it has also opened my mind on how I can start a project so that I can strengthen myself financially.
Okay, thank you very much. Dorcas, can you tell us something? Dorcas Mikali. Dorcas, from the video. Dorcas Mikali.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Tunakusikia vizuri.
Okay. It has now given me the ideas, how the steps which I will follow in my action plan. At least yesterday I did not get it very well. Now I followed very keenly, and now I'm going to follow those steps as the video imenionyesha, and I hope sitapotea.
We are going to send the video in the WhatsApp, so you can always look at it later. So it will be there for you to refer in case you have a challenge. Beatrice Waweru. Beatrice Waweru. Beatrice Waweru. Can you share with us something? Beatrice Waweru, are you with us?
11:20.
Beatrice Waweru?
Oh, 11:30.
Or we go to Veronica Waidera. Beatrice Waweru, yes, please tell us something. Yes, we can hear you.
There was how. Yes. There was this question how. And on my side, from the pictures, I could see different people, the community. So I thought the question that how was asking about how will the project help the community. And I thought of one of the purposes that I mentioned was to better the learners in future, or to help the learners to become better. So I thought the project will help the community. When these people they become successful in the future, they go back and assist that community. And at the same time, the project will also help other people who are behind that class that are teaching.
Okay. Okay.
So in always.
Okay. So that is very interesting. Thank you very much. Veronica Waidera. Veronica.
Hello.
You are the first to present. Now tell us, what are you drawing from the video?
From the video, I have seen the steps we are supposed to follow, and again, still on how it has informed me of the different stakeholders I can use so that as we teach these peoples, it will benefit to them.
Okay. Thank you very much, Veronica. We have Roslyn. Roslyn, can you unmute and tell us?
Yes. I've come up with, I've understood better the purpose of the project, the people involved, as well as the long-term benefit and the short-term benefits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now we have all presented, and we have some few minutes as we are coming to the end of the presentation. I want to give each person a turn on how will you advise your colleague. We are 8 here, very nice class, small class, and we are together here, and we tried our best to succeed in our projects. So I will start with the top. I'll start with Veronica. What will you advise our colleagues in this room? And I'll go all the way to Roslyn.
I am fine. It is doable. It is exciting. And it is very beneficial even in our community. Thank you.
So you are ready to work for the 8 weeks from January to March, and you are excited about it?
Yes.
Okay, so what will you advise us, your colleagues, your fellow teachers? Give us an advice.
The advice is we be positive toward facing the challenge.
Okay.
Yes.
And how are you feeling yourself about it?
I'm feeling comfortable now.
Thank you very much, Veronica Waithera.
Where we stop.
Yeah, when change comes, it is uncomfortable. It's something new, so we all struggle about it. Yes. So don't worry about it. Okay, let's go to Beatrice. Beatrice, tell us how you are feeling and give an advice to all of us in this room. Beatrice Waweru. Beatrice Waweru. Give us an advice as your colleagues. Beatrice Waweru. Unmute yourself and share with us. And all this is recorded. We'll share with you, we'll send to you, and then you'll listen to your contribution and what others were saying. Beatrice Waweru, please unmute yourself. Tell us how you feel.
There's a bit of network.
Beatrice is having some challenges. We'll come back to you. Dorcas Mwikali, tunaomba utuelezee unajihisiaje saa hizi na utupatie.
Najihisiaje?
Na utupatie advice kama zako. Mimi nafundisha grade 3.
Okay. Mwanzo nashukuru kwa hii project. For one, I had not known about it before, but now I have seen it very helpful and I've started to embrace it. It's so lovable and it has opened up my mind. So what I can tell to my colleague, let's embrace this one and do it in practice, and we shall see the success of this project in our schools.
Wow.
That's my view.
You are telling us when we meet in March 15th, when you have taught your children, you will have a lot of stories to tell us.
Ah, sure.
Okay, thank you very much, Dorcas Wikali. Hannah Wangare Mbudia, please tell us how you're feeling and an advice to the colleagues in the room. Hannah Wangare Mbudia.
Mimi nasikia kwamba nimepata mabadiliko, nitakuwa mwalimu si yule wa mbeleni, ni mwalimu mwingine sasa ambaye atakuwa na ufanisi. Wenzangu, kile ningependa kuambia ni kwamba tutilie maanani yale ambayo tumefundishwa, tusiwe tu watu kusikiliza bila kutenda. Tuonyeshe vitendo na nina uhakika sana wakati mwingine tutakuwa tunasherehekea ufanisi ambao tutapata. Shukrani.
Wow. Tusiwe watu wa kusikiliza bila vitendo, na tutapokutana mwingine tutakuwa na ufanisi. Nashukuru sana kwa mchango wako, asante sana. Umetupatia mtazamo mzuri na labda tutakuwa na mwelekeo. Twende kwa Bi Julia. Bi Julia.
Asante mwalimu.
Naam.
Mimi kwanza ni kukupatia kongole mwalimu kwa kazi nzuri ambayo umeweza kutupatia. Hakika ni elimu kwa kiwango kikubwa. Lakini kufikia jana jioni, nafikiri wengi wetu tulikuwa tuko huyu daktari anatutakia nini, kwa sababu mambo mengi hatuko tumeelewa. Lakini kwa sasa nataka kusema ya kwamba hatufai kufa moyo. Kwa sababu hapo nimeona saa hizi nimeweza kupata elimu ambayo hii elimu hii sio yangu peke yangu, bali itaweza kwenda kumsaidia mtoto yule ambaye ananitumainia katika maisha yake. Kwa hivyo nashukuru sana, na kwa wenzangu tusife moyo. My colleagues Hannah and Rose, sasa kazi inaanza Karuri Primary School. Na niko ready for the 8-week challenge.
Asante sana. Thank you very much for those nice words, and thank you. Normally, sometimes if learning has to happen, you might need to stretch and make people uncomfortable. Otherwise, if things are just the same, learning does not happen. So for learning to happen, even in your class, sometimes when you see your children getting confused, then learning is happening. When they are wondering, that wonder, puzzlement is coming. That is now the beginning of learning. So thank you for that. And I hope you didn't get lost too much. It's always pushing and then bringing the people back. Thank you so much. Okay, our tutor, Margaret Penina, tupatie how you feel and give us some words of advice. You are in a pivotal point because you prepare us as teachers. So tell us some word of advice.
Thank you, Maina Wagioko. I'm very appreciative. I want to do some confessions. By the end of yesterday, I was feeling like I won't even implement the action plan. I just said that this project is for the primary school teacher. Okay, we prepare the primary school teachers. It's good to be in the know, but I won't implement any project. But with today, I'm grateful, Mr. Maina. I'm really grateful because I'm actually motivated. I'm also going to use some of the points that we've learned today to handle my WhatsApp groups, the teachers that we prepare, because there are things here that are very relevant. Now, when it comes to implementing this action plan, I don't really know when, because the programs with the COVID-19, we are not sure. We are being told we are opening in September, but they've said subject to what they've observed in 21 days. So we are not sure. Even the January 2021, we are not really sure, but we shall still plan. I want to comment on some things that I'll lift directly even from the participants. Some points that I noticed that were important. I thought that these things can really be useful. There's an individual who talked about card cutouts when you are directing research or finding out more. I thought that was very good. I'm definitely going to borrow that. Then there's somebody who talked about parental support. For us, we don't really deal with the parents of our students, but I think I'll advise my students to really seek more parental support for the pupils that they'll be teaching. Then there's the issue of peer support, structured peer support. And you talked about giving us some more information on peer support. I thought that that's something I can really strongly borrow on. Otherwise, I appreciate the session. I'm very grateful, truly from my heart. Thank you.
Okay, tumesikia kwa mwalimu wetu. Those are, we passed through the hands of Margaret and others, and thank you for making us who we are. We are teachers because of you, and thank you for the guidance. That is very, very important. Okay, Teacher Rose Njeri Watitu.
Yes, first is to say thank you to all you facilitators for coming up with all this. Actually, you've really enlightened us. Personally, I feel enlightened and more equipped. And it's always good to leave the traditions and embrace change, because like we are used to meeting. In most cases, we go to Thogoto TTC. We have one-on-one, face-to-face trainings. But this time, you did it through the web. We feel like for instance, the first day it was hectic. It wasn't working, but with time, we took it positively, and today it is working. We are so happy, and this is something we are going to do even in our schools. We have the tablets, the gadgets we are given by the government. Some of us don't use it, but because you really encouraged us, you have shown us that it is possible, it is doable. So we are going to implement them in the schools. I'll say thank you. I didn't know there were things like Flipgrid, things, Google Classrooms. What? I'm so grateful. I know them.
Yes.
So grateful.
Thank you very much. It's a learning journey. We are learning and we keep on learning. And learning should not be interrupted whatsoever. And that's what we are trying to demonstrate, that you can see we have gone through 7 days training, and despite being in our homes, but it is possible. And it's very important because it doesn't matter the distance. After this class, I have a class in Ghana where I'm working with the ministry and I'll be teaching their people there. So it shows that you can teach anywhere from anywhere. So it gives the potential and that possibility of what is possible. Thank you very much, Teacher Rose. Teacher Rosalind, please, can you tell us something?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you for creating rapport with us. When the meeting began, I was kind of tense, but as we went on, I was able to relax and even present. So the advice that I'd give my other colleagues is, whenever we are called upon to attend trainings, we should always be ready to accept and get the training that we need. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies, and you are very, very engaging, interactive session. I will, this recording will be sent to you. I'll send only to you directly. So each of you, I'll check your names in the class. And if you have the same name in the WhatsApp, I'll send all of them to you. I'd like to thank you for your attendance. I'd like to thank you for the level of discussion, the level of candid openness, because that learning comes when we appreciate where we are. Once you have appreciated where you are, then the opportunities to learn open up, and then you can be what you want. And that has been very impressive from what you have given. I really thank you, and I wish to look forward to your sessions, because what is not going to happen now is you'll be given a whole week, and then after that particular week, on Friday, you are supposed to send in your presentation, your plan. There will be a form, and the form is guided to tell you in assessing evidence, what are you going to do, why, when, how, with what, how will the success look like, what are the indicators. So you'll just fill a template, and that template will now guide us, because we will visit some of your schools And the other critical thing I like to tell you is we are tracking successful implementation. Because what happens is as you are working and as you are feeding us with your story of what you're doing, in case we see something which is worth replicating, there'll always be a crew who will come to your school, they'll film you, or you can also write your story. It can be published in very different journals, and also it can be shared in the BBC Forum for Education. So whatever we are doing it for the purpose of learning, but also for the purpose of modeling to the others. So you're not just doing to yourself, to your community, but you're doing it to a larger community. So I'll urge you to do much better, because the next step, as you had, when you finish this course, you'll also apply for partnership grant, and partnership grant allows you to partner with another school in UK, and then they'll give you a grant. Then that grant will open opportunity for people to visit each other when it is possible for people to come. So you'll have teachers coming to your school and you will also go there and see. So it's a long journey. It's not just a course. It's a professional pathway which can take you places when you follow through. So I'd like to thank you. And I had a very good opportunity to listening to you. I could see that all the activity you are sharing, all the action you are sharing, they were linked to foundational skills, literacy, numeracy, and for Tutor Margaret about arts. And that comes from creative activities. So when we talk about core skills, it's very clear from what we have said. It is not in addition to, but it is part and parcel of what we do in class. So hatutaenda kujaribu kuanza kufanya miradi mingine. Tutakuwa tu pale pale darasani, ile kazi tunayofanya tutaendelea hapo hapo kwa hisabati, kwa lugha, kwa na vitengo vingine. So it is something that we are going to do, not in addition to, but part and parcel of what to do. So I commend you for that, because all your actions are clear and they are linked to foundational skills, and they are linked to literacy, numeracy, and creative arts for that case. The other thing is you have all shared that you'll address the 4 abilities. That is assessing evidence, multiple perspective, solving non-routine problems, and deep structures. So in your 8 weeks, you will be focusing on this 2 per week, 2 per week, 2 per week. And it does not mean that when you finish 2 per week, then you will stop doing it. No. It's not that way. Once you finish 2 per week, you'll get used to it. It will no longer be a project. It will be part of your profession. Then you will continue. Because we are looking forward for you being an ambassador, a teacher who will be now sharing with other teachers across the region and globally. So that is something which we want to build your capacity, and we learn from you, so that instead of just consuming knowledge, you are also generating more knowledge for all of us. So that is very critical to all of us. And the other aspect which I'll need to ask you is, we are going to continue on the Google Classroom. It is going to be continue to be our family. Please keep on sharing. When you do a lesson, just post it there. We have tutors who can look at it. We have other people who can look at it. We can learn from that. We can give you advice, and your lesson will become better and better as we move. So it's a learning journey for all of us, and we are requesting you, let's walk the journey together, and let's be our learning opportunity to all of us as we move on. The other thing which I like to share is the attributes. And these attributes are very, very critical. Who, why, when, with whom, with what, how, success, monitoring. And the last one, learning. We are doing this all to learn. Tunajaribu mbinu mpya za kufunza ili tujifunze, tujikuze kitaaluma. Hii ni nafasi ya sisi kujikuza kitaaluma. So we have an opportunity to deepen our learning experience. And therefore, you came out very well. Everybody who was presenting, they could say who they are working with, what they are doing, why they are doing it, when they will do, who else is coming on board, what are they going to use, how will they do it. the success, how will they follow to make sure it is successful and the learning. So let's start maintaining a reflective journal that every time we do something, we reflect. Kwa kila wakati, tukifanya tendo lolote, tutafakari. Tujiulize, je, nini imefanyika? Je, wakati ikifanyika, nilikuwa nafikiria nini? Je, nitafanya nini? So it's important to reflect throughout and ask ourselves what has happened. So what? Then what? That way, we will be growing as we move in our profession. So I would like to thank you very much for your engagement. I would like to thank you very much for your participation. I would like you to write a reflection in the chat about the session. What did you like about the session? Let's write a reflection in the chat. I hope we can all see the chat. Or is there somebody who cannot see the chat? Is there anybody who cannot see the chat?
Yes. Yes. I can't
see.
Okay.
So that's a challenge. Sorry, that has been a technical challenge which we are trying to solve. So I think we are coming to the end, and we said when you are ending a lesson, you have to allow your learners to reflect. So we'll take turns, each of us reflecting, and then somebody is going to lead us in prayers, and then we close. So we'll take the same order. Can we start with Veronica? Reflect about the session. Tafakari kuhusu the 2 hours, almost 3, that we have been together. Veronica, then Beatrice, then Dorcas, then Hannah, Margaret, then Rose, then Rosaline. Julia is out. I think she was, okay. Let's reflect, then we close, yes?
Thank you. The reflection was good. It has really opened our mind. The first session was good. The representation was encouraging. And one was able to know where to correct and where to place what, maybe where to place what the idea, the what, the purpose. So it was so good, so encouraging. And I liked it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Veronica. Thank you very much. Let's go to Beatrice. Beatrice, it's your time to reflect.
Hello.
Yes.
I think from yesterday when you presented about the action plan, I was in the dark. Yes. I couldn't see anything, but from today, when people started presenting, things were good. I came up with mine, even if it was not. It was somehow. I don't know, but I think I have learned a lot. You presented us very well. You have encouraged us very well, because in the first place, when I was trying to present, you told me, Beatrice, we are learning. And I have learned a lot. And I'm telling you that we are going to continue with the program. We are going to do all the things that you have advised us to do, so that at least we can help those young, innocent children and they become better future readers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. Dorcas Mikali.
Can you hear me?
Tunakusikia vizuri sana.
Okay. Okay. Hello?
Yes, we can hear
Hello?
you. We can hear you.
Today, yeah?
We can hear you.
Today, okay. Today, I've really enjoyed. And let me confess this. When I saw you, that you are the one who is doing it in our class, I was worried. Unlike yesterday, jana ulitupeleka mbio mpaka tukaanza kusarenda. But I thank you today, to take in a good face, at least to enjoy. So the lesson was so good that I can't say that I will not do what I've been told. Secondly, today we've lacked boy child. I don't know why. Boy child.
Yeah, I don't know why
But
they
all
didn't
in
come.
all,
Yeah.
but all in all, we have enjoyed the lesson. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your gender sensitivity and inclusion. Asante sana mwalimu. Over to Hannah Wangare Mbudia.
Thank you. Yeah, we got lost yesterday. Today we have been catered for. So I think it has been a wonderful time. You have taken us well, step by step. And actually, yeah, now far much better. It was a wonderful. God bless.
Thank you, Hannah. It's usually important before you end your lesson, you let your learners tell you, because it will also help you to improve and you'll know how they took the lesson. Thank you very much. I'm learning a lot. Tutor Margaret, mwalimu wetu, tafakari. Give us your reflection, Tutor Margaret.
Thank you, Facilitator Maina Yoko. You are very encouraging, very encouraging. And the people who were kind of feeling lost were brought to speed. I think the attendees also participated. They were given ample time to express themselves, to complain, to say thank you, to say what is in their hearts. I hadn't noticed that gender thing, but I've noticed it from a participant who has just drawn our attention to it. Otherwise, I thought the session was very, very good and yeah, very encouraging to me. I thought that this thing is not mine, but now I have embraced it. It is mine. Thank you.
Thank you, our teacher. We go to Teacher Rose Njeri Watitu. Rose Njeri.
I feel that this session was good. I have really enjoyed it. It was interactive. So I'm open to all. So far, so good. And I'm praying, I'm hoping and praying that when we go to the ground, we shall be able to do all that we have learned. I'm also grateful for you. You are clear, so vocal. We've really understood almost, let me say, 99.9%. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We go to Roslyn.
Thank you very much. I was able to borrow a lot from all my colleagues, and that made it even easier for me as I'll be beginning in January. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we are going to take a group photo. Can you now? Yeah, we need to take a group photo. Show your video. Open up your video so that we take a group photo for this session. And somebody should prepare to pray. So we need somebody to be able to pray. I can't see everybody. I want to take a group photo and I can't see everybody for my class. Can you see your colleagues? Can you see your colleagues?
Not really. Can only see you and one other. The other has gone.
Yeah. So somebody to lead us in prayer, then I can't see the faces of people. I don't know what's... Tutor Margaret, will you lead us in closing prayers? We are going to go now to the main session We're going to go to the big hall for the closing ceremony. We have the chief principal, Margaret there. We have Dr. Ndamburi from TSC, who will be in the big hall for our closing ceremony. Thank you very much for your session. Thank you for your participation. Over to you, Madam. Give us a word of prayer as we come to an end.
Let's pray. Our Father and our God, in Jesus' name, we humble before your throne this morning with thanksgiving in our hearts. We thank you, Lord, for this session that has been carried out. We thank you, God, for our facilitator. We thank you, God, for the participants. Lord, we thank you that there was success in this session. We pray, Father, that even as we move on to the area of action plan, that, Lord God, you will be with us even in our schools or our various institutions. Keep us safe from COVID-19. Keep everybody safe and help us, oh God, to be very fruitful educators. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. So thank you so much, everyone. Maybe we can wave so that as we say bye-bye, show your video and wave so that we say bye-bye to each other. Thank you very much. And let us meet in the main hall. Asanteni sana.